Hello. Okay, so we're on the third video of the boss training. And the first S is setting boundaries. Yes. Boundaries are good. Boundaries are definitely good. This can be in all aspects of our business. It's not just your team members. This definitely like highlights in my life with my customers. My customers are completely awesome. I love my customers. I really do. They're very loyal to me. They love to shop with me. They love how I ship things fast. They love coming to my parties, and I appreciate them so much. But some of them I don't want to like take from any other companies in the world, and I'm not talking about direct sales companies, but I think what is a little frustrating is that a lot of people nowadays want something that's super high quality. They have high expectations of something, but they want it super cheap. And so they just have super high expectations of things now. And a lot of companies out there with like their return policies and stuff like that make it to where if you have like your own personal business, it's really hard to set boundaries with them, because when you first become a consultant, you just want to be like this amazing consultant, and you don't want to have any chaos, and you don't want to cause any friction. And so one of the first things that I had to do was and I know this is like rules, but it also set boundaries with my customers, was like knowing what my return policy, if I was going to have a return policy, is, knowing like how long my parties were going to be. I explained that in the last video, that like when I first started, I just kind of stayed there, and I didn't have like set times, and I just had like a start time, and it ended up causing some friction because like the parties weren't consistent, and so like somebody would rehost, and they'd be like, well, the first time you were here for like 5 hours, so that's what they thought the second party was gonna be like, and they just had super high expectations because I'm the one who gave them these high expectations. Like I let them, roll with their thoughts, and I didn't set any rules or guidelines or anything like that. And so that was really hard when I started, because I am definitely a people pleaser. It's really hard for me to say no to things. It's really hard for me to let people down. It like honestly can make or break my day. And it's frustrating. It's totally frustrating. So what I've done is, now when I train my team members that are coming in, I'm like, you need to know, like, set your boundaries right away. Set your guidelines, set your rules right away. Know that this is how long your party is going to take. Know what your return is. Like I said, I have people that come to my house and like pick up items, and I'll just put them in my mailbox. I used to have people that would like come like super late at night, because they always knew I was home, which is fine. And I said, you can come anytime you want, right? Well, I thought that like that was common sense, that like, maybe past 7 wasn't a good time. Or like in the summertime when the sun is gone and it's not shining, like don't come over here, because that's freaking ridiculous, right? Well, there are people out there that will do that. And so it was a little frustrating, because I would get like people coming up at my door super late at night, and I'm like, what is going on, that want to go shopping? Because I totally said, oh, you can come and shop anytime you want. Seriously. So, I mean, it's things like that you have to set. And once you do it, and once you stick to your boundaries and like your guidelines and rules, it gets so much easier, because that's their expectations for you. Like they already know what to expect, right? sometimes new things come up. And what I've learned to do is if someone asks me a question and I'm like, I just don't answer right away. I want to answer like, oh yeah, it's fine, no big deal. Now I literally will sit back and like roll with the question for like 15 and 20 minutes before I answer. When I first started, I would immediately, like, somebody would ask the question, like, is this okay to do? And it could be like from customers, or like one of the jump rings like came apart. So somebody would be like, oh, my stuff broke. And I'd be like, oh, no problem. Like, I'll totally give you your money back, or like, do you want to trade? Whatever. Then I would get like items that would come in and like, clearly it's a jump ring issue. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's not that big of a deal. Or, I used to live in Duluth, which is 2 hours away from where I live now, and I didn't know anybody up there when after we moved up there. And I had already had my paparazzi business like running for like a couple months, and it was doing really well. And then I went up there and I didn't know anybody. And this was like before Facebook parties even like came to. Like, I had my business page and I sold some stuff off my business page, but I wasn't like I wanted to book parties. I didn't want to sell off my business page. I wanted to have in-home parties and do events. And a lady had done a big party for me, and it was very like, she was super, super nice. She was another direct salesperson, and it was awesome. Like, she was super nice. We were friends on Facebook. We had done a couple events up there together, and she asked if she could take a bag of jewelry to a ladies' weekend that she was having, and I said that was fine. I totally trusted her. Like, I really did. I had no like bad gut instincts about her in any way, shape, or form. And like, I saw a ton of people like wearing, like, she was posting pictures all weekend, and everybody was decked out in paparazzi. It was awesome. And so I was like so excited to get that empty bag back. The items came back. All of the items came back. She had sold like 2 items. Even though I knew that the items that they were in all the pictures, I knew that they had worn them. So I felt really bad. It actually made me feel bad to call this person out, because I was like, seriously, come on. Like, why would you put somebody in that kind of situation? And what she said was, oh, well, you know, they just didn't like them. They had worn them for like an hour and they realized they just didn't like them anymore. And that is when this mama put on a no return policy. I go to a school that I sell to. They're super awesome. But at one point I had a lady come back and say, you know, I bought this the last time you were here. I go there like every 3 months. I bought this the last time you were here, and I never wore it. I was just wondering if I could exchange it. Being super nice and not thinking about it, or even having like a plan of action if something like that happened, because it never happened before. I said, sure, go ahead. Well, then the next time I went out there, and like 2 people decided to do the same thing, and I was like, oh, that's fine. And then the next time I went out there were a ton of people that were like, oh my gosh, so it's so funny what we do. We just hang our stuff up and we don't take it off the tags, and if we haven't worn it since you got it here, we just trade it in for new stuff. You have to set your boundaries, okay? I am a very nice person, but I don't like to be walked on. And there are people in this world that take advantage of people. So set your boundaries with your customers. Very much so. Setting boundaries with team members. I love my team members. Once you like have earned rapport and you have like a personal like friendship and stuff like that, what's really awesome is it ends up being like super easy to talk to someone. It ends up you get to know how they take things. You get to know how they like to be talked to. I have team members that I can literally just be like, you need to do this, like what the crap? And they're fine. They love it. If I did it to some of my other team members, they would be like, why are you so mean? You know what I mean? So you get to know people. But, and Trent talked about this. He was like, you are not a counselor, which sometimes I do feel like I'm a counselor, because when I talk to my team members, I do like to be like super personable. But at some point, you know, 3 hours talking on the phone with one of your team members and all you've been talking about is like your husbands and you're complaining about your kids, and you get off the phone and you're like, I feel like I've done nothing, then there's something wrong there. That was you not setting a boundary. Now, if you're okay with that, keep on trucking by any means. That's fine. I have a really busy household. Like, we're constantly doing stuff. And even though I do like to talk on the phone, and believe me, I am a rambler. That's why these videos are so long, okay? But at some point, you have to just learn to know that you can't, you just got to get off the phone. And I have team members that at some point it was really hard to separate business from friendship. Like on my Facebook, when elections came on, it was like I wanted to, it was like seriously really hard for me not to be like, I just want you off my team, because we don't have the same feelings on certain things. That was really hard for me. Just because I have strong beliefs in certain areas of my life. And so do they, and to each his own, right? But what was happening is that I didn't know how to separate my Facebook, like my thoughts, and like keep it just positive. And so I had to learn to like set boundaries for myself and be like, you can't get into a political debate with one of your team members. So now I just don't post any of that kind of stuff on my Facebook. I try not to look at my other team members' Facebooks as well, because I do have my own set of values, and I try not to get that mixed in with business, which is something that I've had to set for myself. Just because, you know, not everybody is the same. And I think that's something that I've learned quite a bit in this company, is that nobody is the same, and we can all totally get along, but we're not all gonna get totally along all the time, right? So it's just, you learn to let things go. I set big boundaries with my team members that they are not allowed to message me in the middle of the night or call me in the middle of the night. I had to set those rules like right away, because I would have people like message me in the middle of the night or call me in the middle of the night. Actually call me in the middle of the night. And it was very, very, very frustrating. So just setting boundaries and knowing that there's, you know, there's business boundaries, and there's like personal boundaries, and then there's like people boundaries and like timeline boundaries, and you know, it's all over the place. What I really like about the boundaries was that there was literally so much to learn, and it's so much stuff that you can really like implement in your daily life. So I really liked the boundaries one, and I hope this helped you. Please watch the next video, and we are going to go on to our last S. Thank you